All the news now is Korea. It just seemed to come from nowhere and it blew up out of proportion, and I'm not sure anything really triggered it, but it becomes clear that Korea is part of the axis against Israel. It's intimate with Iran on a military strategic level, and the United States is being pushed out of Asia at the same time generally, and China is moving in all over the place. And we're likely to see a huge kind of American involvement in the Philippines, which is another video which I will make. But regarding Korea, it's in essence a distraction. All sorts of things are happening while we're focused on Korea, which is, you can have increased police surveillance at home, more totalitarianism, and more increased military shenanigans around Asia, for example, the Philippines. It's used to actually enslave us, and we're all focused on North Korea and the rights and the wrongs and proclaiming our indignation at how bad the United States is, which is true. But the U.S. can't really go to war with North Korea unless it gets guarantees from Russia and China that they will not intervene. And that's not going to happen in the foreseeable future. Over time, anything is possible. But Russia and China are not going to let America change the government in North Korea. It's just, we're led to believe that he's a madman. We're led to believe that the people are unhappy in the country. And if we stopped and thought about it for a little bit, we are raised to be consumers, to be selfish, and also to hate our governments. They pour huge amounts of money into anti-government propaganda of our own governments. It's controlled opposition, it's pseudo-opposition. But we're all critical of our governments, and rightly so. And so, there's North Korea, and they don't pursue that goal. The people inside the country love their government. Apparently, I don't know. But somehow we have to demonize them because of that. Two aides to the American ambassador to the UN, Haley, have resigned as chief aides. And you've got to wonder if they've got an inkling of what's going to unfold. It might well be a war against North Korea and Iran. And they're intimate allies. It's not coincidental that those two keep coming up. North Korea and Iran cooperate extensively in military matters. But that is ominous. The issue is wars are unpredictable. If you look at all the wars that we're witnessing, they're unpredictable. And it's a basics of anyone that studies wars knows this fact. And that's why they can't go to war with North Korea, because they have no idea of what will develop and how it will go. Namely, China, who is conducting naval exercises now off the coast of Korea in the Yellow Sea. I mean, if you look at Iraq, America was stunned at the resistance they got. And Syria, I think, America expected to overthrow the government and leave it as a failed state. It didn't work. None of these wars go to plan. It's something we don't take into account. It's the public, There's always the fear there'll be some kind of false flag. But, a lot of the alternative media calls out these false flags, but the intel agencies know them as well. It won't wash. It won't work if some terrible deed happens and North Korea is blamed. It won't work. Not in this age of semi-enlightenment. We're all becoming attuned to how dismal our oligarchs are. But one of the themes on my channel, which is rather unique, is that we're on an ongoing war between indigenous people and, you can call us civilized if you want to distinguish. It's hard to find the right label. It could just be mongrels or hybrids or transients. But there's an ongoing war between the indigenous people and non-indigenous people for history, for a long time. We've seen the natives wiped out in the Americas, in Australia. This is, of course, the Anglo-Saxons are at the forefront of this, but perhaps at all times they've been with Talmudic masters. These are secrets we don't know. We're all guessing, what secrets are. We're all trying to decipher them. But it is easy to define all that's going on in conflicts as a war against indigenous people. I mean, all the wars in Asia, Korea, Japan, but it was the Second World War, but Vietnam, Cambodia, they dropped 3 million bombs on. They're all designed to create this exodus of people, move them off the land and turn them into immigrants. This is a theory I postulate. Unfortunately, this Trump administration, this Jared Kushner Chabad administration, is going to be known as going for war. I think the Korean episode will pass. Some saving face notion will be publicized. They're talking now that there are back channels being discussed about Korea. Well, you know, there's back channels being discussed at all times everywhere on earth. You've got all these meetings between countries. They don't ignore each other. They talk to each other. And there's no exceptions. You know, you can go from, you can be sure the Israelis make overtures to talk to the North Korea, Iran at every opportunity, and there's got to be some reciprocity. This is just normal human behavior. So suddenly publicizing there's back talking going on between US and North Korea is just a face-saving farce so that America can back out of a foolish escapade. The people don't want any more wars. If he goes to war, and he won't, if he did, there would be a revolt. The people have actually had enough. And you've even got that stalwart Britain, you know, the great a friend of America, making noises saying it's not going to assist the United States in a war on North Korea. And that includes if Guam is attacked. And they cite the example of the Falkland Islands. The United States never came to the assistance of Britain in the Falkland Islands. NATO is just about, sovereign territory, not the overseas possessions. I don't like all the legality because it's all mumbo jumbo, and they move the goalposts and say what they want when they want. Anyway, it's a big distraction. It's got no meat in the story, North Korea. A million things are going on, voter fraud, God knows what else, and we're all talking about North Korea is going as planned. And when he's finished making all this noise about North Korea, it'll be somewhere else, and in all likelihood, Mindanao in the Philippines, there's noises that America's going to start bombing ISIS there, and with or without Philippine approval, government approval. And every time America goes to assist someone, they end up destroyed. And the Philippines government doesn't want America to do this. Apparently, the United States has got some friends in the Philippine military, high up, defense ministry. But, America actually stopped weapons sales to the Philippines. So they're trying to bring the Philippines to its knees. And they've got enough foreign visitors and people in place in the Philippines to cause a lot of corruption and mayhem like they have in Venezuela. And as far as Venezuela goes, Trump's also saying military options are still on the table for Venezuela. All this is coming from the Zio oligarchs, the Chabad, from Talmudic thought, and it's been going on for centuries. It's generational. Okay, well, I hope I've covered everything. They're pretty clever. They've actually got Israelis investing in Jordanian companies that are buying land in the West Bank to disguise what's happening. Anyway, I finish. Please help with donations. Anything to the PayPal address, anything to any of the links in the description. I got nothing yesterday, but I didn't make a video yesterday. Please help if you can. Thank you.